How's it going, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I want to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Pixely Wolf, Gabriel Potter, Jason Green, Base564, Grayscale, Ty Bennett, Casey, Pro Tomahawker, Lucius, Austin Davis, Anthony, Noriden XD, Boop the Snoot, Michael Tieran, Nick, Kaya the Great, Christian Andre Cavande, Seven Gates, Aaron Bates, Diablo2604, Slivarium, Octocat, Redemption, It's Silver, Aubrey Byrne, Starkiller SCP-049, Thoughtful 03 Guy, JK844, D, Ariel, and as always, I want to give a big shout out to our executive producers, Bevan Brummett and Tavon. Thank you all very much for your support. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, click the link in the description to find out more. We'll see you there.
Alright,
here we go.
Count three. 1, 2, 3. Whee! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Alright. What do I hear? Oh no! Oh god!
What happened?
I just got hit by lawnmowers that were falling.
Childhood. Most people have that.
Still do if you never grew up.
I can safely say that me, you, Chad, and a few others have definitely not grown up. And you know what? That's a good thing.
I mean, my mom was always like, you'll grow out of video games eventually. And I'm just like, I got 500 video games and I got to figure out how to play them all before I die.
Uh-huh. And
if that's not a kid type goal, I don't know what it is.
It's not a kid type goal. That's a man goal right there.
I guess as a kid, I didn't have that many games to worry about.
Yeah. Well, games
I had like
nowadays are a lot longer.
My game
than what they
library
were.
Was like 15 games as a kid, if that.
Dude, games back in the day were not as long as the ones now. I look at a lot of the games.
Well, I mean, starting about PlayStation era, they started getting pretty dang beefy.
Well, they did,
especially
but they
like
weren't
Final
as
Fantasy
fleshed out.
games and stuff.
They did, but they weren't as fleshed out. Like most of it was backtracking. Most of it was like I would say.
Wait, are you saying that modern open world games aren't a lot of backtracking?
Well, here's the problem with that is that the backtracking through a lot of those games is usually like what I'm talking about is on PlayStation was a very linear, and there was only one way you could go back and one way and one path, whereas. Say, Batman Arkham City, you could literally, like, take any path that you wanted. Be like, oh, there's actually something going on over here, and I can actually go to that before I get back to the main story mission. Or I can go over here, and I can get that new upgrade that I've been wanting to get, you know, do the AR challenge, and then continue on. Again.
Which Final Fantasy did kind of start an open world trend to an extent. Like, I'm sure there were games that did it kind of before that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, like with 9, you know, in the overworld, after a point, you have an airship and you can literally go where you want, when you want. But even before that, there's like multiple routes to get to certain places, like depending on if you go through a certain gate or out of a certain town or something.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is, going back to a lot of those games from my childhood...
They still have all the, like, main areas as a pretty linear thing, though. Like, the towns are kind of open, but, like, you know, when you're going, like, through, like... for example, the ice cave, it's just literally just start to finish with a little bitty side paths on the same screens to find the extra hidden items.
And you see, that's what I'm saying. You see, like, and I'm not saying that modern games are like paragons of perfection, but for like, I think for like great drastic leaps forward, I think Elden Ring and the Dark Souls franchise has basically been the leap forward that gaming has needed. And still needs, because it's basically taking the current model of like pay to play subscription services, and basically is just like cock slapping it in the face and saying, no, make good video games. That's all you need to do.
It's still controversial though, because you got a lot of people that just won't give it the time of day because they don't want to be challenged.
Well, then I would call
There's people that are like, oh, it's boring and stuff, you know, and it's like, well, these are people that literally need their handheld and need to be told where to go in order to be able to have an experience.
Here's what I will say to that.
Like, if you don't have any imagination and you can't make your own adventure to an extent, like, if you can't put 2 and 2 together in your head and be like, all right, I have this map, that right there looks like a landmark, let's see what's there. And like, if that's not interesting to you, then I guess you won't like that kind of game. But I mean, where's your sense of adventure?
Well, you say those people don't like to be challenged. I would make the argument that those people are mentally challenged.
Yeah.
For those of you who can't put that together, 2 and 2, I'm calling them. That's right. I am calling them.
Not allowed to say that nowadays, though.
I know. Even though I'm literally using the clinical definition. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I were trying to be derogatory, I would literally, like, yeah, but whatever. Anyway.
Just in case, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, the mentally inept masses out there who just want their handheld for a video game experience instead of figuring it out themselves.
It just made me happy that I have seen a lot more people this time actually be like, Elden Ring is the first time I've got into a FromSoft game and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me happy that more people are getting into it.
Me too, man.
So you get the random people that are like, everybody in this community is a dick. They're all gatekeepers. And I'm just like, why are we all so happy for all these people that have managed to get into the game for the first time in this series we all like?
Don't know.
It's like, everybody assumes that if you say get good, you're being a dick. And that's literally, it's just a joke. Like, it's
literally a joke, yeah. And I understand that in some people's minds we live in a post-joke world. No, there's no such thing as a post-joke world. I was going to say, also, there's a lot of people out there who want to create a stress-free world, you know, where they don't have to worry about life and don't have to worry about this and that. Tell you what, if you don't want to worry about life, all you have to do is... Yeah. That's all you have to do. And in all honesty, once you do that, no more problems. Not just for you, but for everything else that you were involved with. The world will carry on without you. That's just, my God. People...
Unless there is eternal torment in store for those who take that route. In which case, shit.
Yeah, exactly. But...
Just cause yourself a whole different
here's the problem, though. Most people don't even think about that. Most people are too concerned and, like, up their own ass to even consider that option. Oh, well. 'Tis a savage world, and the selfish ones always are the ones who suffer the worst. Anyway, we have...
That's a whole different debate, though. I don't want to debate with people about... I'm not saying that I think that there's eternal torment in store. I'm just saying, what if, you know?
Yeah, what if? But, anyway... We got childhood here from Internet Historian Incognito Mode. Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
I like that we were talking about childhood and then we ended up being like super fucking dark at the end of the beginning.
Well, that's how childhood starts. Childhood starts with this like blissful ignorance of the world around us, and then
you realize that the world is horrifying. And the world becomes dark.
The world can be horrifying, especially if I'm not ready for it. And oh wait, why am I out here in the world without, you know, the public education system actually doing its job and teaching me what I need to know to survive?
I think that's why I like horror things so much, because I'm like, the world really sucks, but at least I'm not in this situation.
At least, yes, 100%.
Anyways, sorry.
Anyway, back to this.
Childhood. What's the deal with children? Is this a child? If children are the future, how come they never see it coming? Bang! One day you will save Gotham. And how come they always get to be on the milk carton? I want a turn. Free candy, I want some. Aha, I got one. Give me all your NFTs. This must be their lair. There's got to be some MILFs around here somewhere.
Please, sir. I want some more.
More?
More?
Certainly. Have all of the NFTs you can eat. All this and more on this episode of In the...
So, Internet Historian, I see you are in the field for the 12th time. Would you like to explain that for us?
Oh, yes, well, you see, I can't get the main channel video finished, and so I just keep pumping these out.
And so why is that? Interesting. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you were recently found to be the world's gayest man 3rd year running.
Oh, again.
wow.
No, everyone's coming out from behind the curtains. Put the cake away. We're not doing this.
You missed an opportunity to say, "Oh wow, everyone's coming out of the closet now." Oh.
Again. I'm not putting on the hat.
But really, man, congratulations. I know you've been gunning for that.
Do I read my speech? I did prepare this.
Please, go.
Yeah.
So the camera's right there.
I want to thank my parents, Jesus. I want to thank the Academy, of course, my biggest inspiration, my muse. Many kudos. I learned from the best.
I'm shining down on you like Mufasa.
Yeah, I mean, if he was still alive today, surely he would have won this award, but I'm still grateful to accept it on his behalf.
Sorry, I just had.
As if there haven't been enough of those memes already.
For those of you who couldn't see what I did, I literally walked up to the screen and got as close as I could, and I slapped Internet Historian in the face. And I'm just like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
What's the closest you've come to dying?
I fell off a cliff. Okay. I think I must have been
Jesus!
about 12. I was there with my mate, and I fell off it. The thing that sort of saved me was I fell through a tree.
Oh, sure.
All the way down to the ground. And I was like, ooh. And then I sort of stood up, and I was like, oh, I'm not dead. I really feel like I should be dead.
Yeah.
I looked up, and I was like,
I don't think
holy
his wrist's
shit, that was
supposed
a
to bend
long
that way, though.
My mate saw some of it happen, and he comes like running.
Say what?
I don't think his wrist's supposed to bend like that, though.
No. I would say for me,
It's like his wrist joint just moved it down here instead of up here.
yeah. I would say for me, the one time I came closest to dying in a similar fashion like that was when I fell down the crevasse at Flag Rock. I basically had my grip up at the top, and I did not feel the moss that was at my fingertips, and I was pulling myself up. I had completely let go with this hand, and I was bringing my foot up to get up to the to like where I could mount, and then all of a sudden there's the crevasse in the middle. It's like this, and here I am in the middle, and I just go boom, 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 and I like land at the bottom, and I land like on my shoulder, and I look, and if I would have like been a little bit more, then basically I'd have landed on my neck, and would have potentially died, but.
I got only 3 that I can think of, and they're all pretty fucking lame. But I barely count one of them, which is when I was little, I went to a local water park called Wetlands.
Yeah.
And I went down a really big slide, and I was confident in my swimming skills to an extent at that point because my mom had taken me to some swimming lessons. But I didn't expect the water from the slide to like push me under as hard as it did, especially being like such a little dude at the time. And so I kind of panicked, and I had like a mini, like I might be drowning moment, and the lifeguard actually saw me really quickly and jumped in and helped me out. So
that's good.
It wasn't like I almost drowned. It wasn't like I had to get CPR resuscitated or anything, or had, but it was like, oh shit, like I almost drowned. Like, like I almost was to the point of starting to drown, essentially. But and then twice, 2 different times, once on a lifesaver, once on a hot dog, I actually got completely choked and had to have...
Ooh.
Like, the first time I was little and was flipped upside down and smacked on the back till you popped the lifesaver out by some paramedics. And then the second time, my mom gave me the Heimlich maneuver, which she learned from Boy Scouts when I was choking on a hot dog. So almost choked to death twice.
When I fell down the crevasse, my dad was at the top, and he saw me, like, disappear into the darkness. And he was just like, I'd never heard my dad, like, yell like that. Like, as soon as I slipped, like, wow! My dad goes, Nate! Nate! Oh my God! Nate! And he, like, rushed down after me, and I was just like, oh, God! Ah! And Dad's like, Nate! Nate! And he was, like, sliding down. He's like, you all right? You all right, son? You all right? I'm like, I'm good, Dad. I'm good. Oh, God.
Down. So what the fuck? What the fuck? And then I'm like in this state of shock.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, can we just go get like an ice cream at the dairy? We walk down to this dairy and we get an ice cream each. We start walking back and then the shock wears off.
Yeah.
And I just start crying.
Sure.
Yeah, that must have been like doubly weird for him.
Was your ice cream not nice? We can swap, man. It's fine. I fell into a wet hole, which would have been like a very nice, like cyclical way of having a life.
Yeah.
I was like 3. That has to be one of my earliest memories.
Oh, that's when you snapped into consciousness.
Yeah, I guess this is the moment where I was plugged into the Matrix finally. It was out in the country, this really large like property, and Dad had been digging these like holes to plant trees in, and they were really deep holes.
Right.
Really wide and really deep holes. I get
A lot of bodies.
Yeah, exactly. One of them, I think. But it had rained the day before. And so these holes that Dad had dug were now full of water. 3-year-old me waddling around like, this is great. I don't know what happened. I lost my footing and I slipped into this tree hole. I don't know whether or not I would have actually drowned. Or if
It's not funny.
Just, like relaxed, I would have.
It's not
It's
funny,
just the
but
animation.
the animation was hilarious. Bloop.
It's just like
It's a very unfunny situation, but it's just like
I don't know what.
it's like he's
They're just
there,
like,
then he's gone. It's like he disappeared. It's a magic show.
What happened? I lost my footing and I slipped into this tree.
Yeah, it's like he's there.
It looks like
Flash.
it looks like when you fall into water in like a Dark Souls game and just fucking go straight the fuck down and like die. Like the deep water in Dark Souls. just all the way down.
Tree hole. I don't know whether or not I would have actually drowned, or if it was one of the things if I actually just like relaxed, my feet would have landed on the ground. But in my toddler brain, I was like, I don't know how to swim. I'm in a body of water and I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I just remember screaming my lungs out, and I have a vivid memory of grasping at dirt and grass like on the edge of the thing, desperately trying to pull myself out of this watery grave. And my dad like thankfully heard and sprinted down and like, you know, yoinked me out of the hole. And then I think he spanked me for being an idiot and falling.
I love that his dad is his face with gray hair.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why would you spank him? I mean, like again, it's an overly
Dude, old
disciplined
school
father.
parents were fucking brutal.
Well, here's the thing. I can understand like whipping a kid's ass whenever he like cusses you, or whenever like she like breaks something and does it deliberately and all that. Then you discipline like that. But dude, kid almost died, man.
Yeah, dude, to be honest, like
Kid almost died. You don't whip a kid because he almost had a near death experience.
yeah, but not like basically not whipping kids for like every little thing is actually like a new millennial concept for the most part. Like a lot of millennial parents are realizing because like I guess, you know, child psychiatry has advanced to that point at this point, and doctors are starting to tell everyone this, but like you don't have to beat a kid to teach them stuff. And
Sometimes if you just talk to a kid and ask them what they did wrong, they'll figure it out.
yeah,
Because that's what my parents did. My parents basically, like, whenever I did something wrong, and I did this a little bit when I was younger, a fair bit, I will be honest. So whenever I did something wrong, my parents would spank me, and then they would ask me, do you know what you did wrong? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's like, then don't do it again. That's all I ask. Don't do it again. I'm like,
my mom hit me one time, and then all she ever had to do was threaten after that. And I mean, and like
Me and my
everyone
sister
always
was
says,
stubborn.
is like there's all these dudes that like to be like, oh, my parents beat me and I grew up just fine. And I was like, I can't link it to being spanked, but I'm definitely not fine. Like I have really bad anxiety problems that I don't really know why I have.
I would say that's
Like-
more of like a mental, like an overall mental thing because of,
I mean,
you know, your brain chemistry.
You can't really know for sure.
I know, and that's
But,
the unfortunate thing. But I'd say everyone's mental chemistry is different, and I would say for you, like where you're,
And then like when I got old enough to start like arguing with my mom and winning arguments with her, she just started grounding me all the time.
I remembered.
Pretty much any time I had a point that she couldn't argue with, like instead of like listening to my point, like she would just be like, you either stop talking back to me or you're grounded. And grounding usually meant that she would make me unallowed to play video games for an amount of time. So it was actually like mental torture.
Well, that's what it develops into. Eventually, it's like if they're right with an argument, then they'll just be like, "You're wrong. That's it. You're wrong." But if you're right, it develops into, "Don't talk back to me." Mm-hmm. That's what it develops to every time.
In the hole, which is like, come on, Dad, I've already learned all this.
Jesus.
Did you ever go to a school formal?
Yeah, I was a nerd, so that sort of stuff is pretty uneventful to me. I went to the first one, but I don't like to dance.
Yeah.
And so...
I went to quite a few.
Ooh,
Totally
many kudos went to many formals.
No, stop.
We should start calling them many formals.
Well,
I went to... You want to know the crazy thing? I did not go to mine, but I went to another school's. And I had the time of my life. Nobody there knew who the hell I was. And, dude, I got in a dance-off with this one guy. And this was back when I was younger and I could still move. Me and him basically, like, got in a dance-off. And, like, it ended with both of us getting an applause. I'm just like, yeah!
I went to like dances a couple times in middle school and high school, but they were like not formal dances. And mostly it was just me just kind of chilling like he was talking about, like on the chair, you know, just being like, I'm awkward and I'm not talking to anybody. I remember staring at one of my middle school crushes in the middle school dance, like not staring at creepily, you know, but like made eye contact with her and like, hey, and waved at her, you know, but still being too much of a puss to actually like go talk to her and like ask her to dance.
8th grade prom, which was like our final year of middle school prom, there was a girl I had a crush on. I asked her to dance with me. She said yes, and we danced, and it was nice. It was very nice.
But yeah, I didn't actually like take someone to one until I was a sophomore in college and I was dating a senior in high school and I took her to her senior prom.
She actually complimented me on my cologne. My dad gave me some cologne and she was just like, "You smell nice." I'm like, "Thank you. Thanks. Just." And it was a slow dance too. That was the thing. I was like and here's the thing, our teachers weren't like, "You have to maintain distance." Instead, we were just like basically hugging each other. It was like, damn.
This is the only thing I remember out of every form I went to. My entire high school experience was going to the bathroom, and there was 3 stools, and the one in the middle was free. And as I go in, these 2 dudes come out of the 2 toilets flanking it, and they're like, "Do you want to race us?" And I was like, "No." And then they're like, "Oh," and they closed the door, and they started like, I could see who could shit the quickest.
That's disgusting. What the hell? It's like that scene from the first Harold and Kumar movie. Do you want to play battle shits?
Just knowing how fucked up the dudes at my schools were, I don't know that that's what they would have been talking about. I think they would have been talking about something even more gross, like than just racing to poop, you know.
I would say for me it was.
So I heard them talking about shit sometimes, and they're like, "Let's see who can whack off the fastest" and shit like that, you know.
Dude,
I was like, "What the hell?"
What? No.
Dudes at my school were fucking weirdos, man.
Dude, for me, the worst it was Boone snuck weed into the dance, and like this was the one in. Powell Valley. I knew a few people who went there. That's why I got to go, because one of the girls that I hung out with asked me to go with her. And basically we're hanging out in there, and Boone whips out some weed and we start smoking it, and there we go. Gosh.
I did not smoke until I was 21.
Yeah, I hear you.
Not because I was like waiting for like a legal age to smoke. It was just I was smoking until I hit like a fuck it point at one point.
I was 17 when I started, and I started, gosh, it was right when I found out my granddad was sick, and then prom was not too long after that.
So I drank alcohol for my 18th birthday because Chance insisted. And
alcohol was about the same.
When I was
17.
21 and things had fell through with the chick that I didn't know was engaged that I was dating, like my first serious girlfriend that just so happened to also be engaged to someone else without telling me about it. I kind of hit a fuck it point, and it was just like they were smoking it, so I was like, yeah, I'll smoke it.
Fuck it.
Give me some of that.
That's the only thing I remember from any formal.
Oh God, the talk.
Did you
my
ever
dad?
condom talk or
I think
the?
my dad, like, sort of
Never got that at all.
with me. I think he just wanted to say, you know, look,
My talk came from all the other dudes at school.
My dad basically pulled over on the side of the
Sex
road.
ed, like-
We were driving home from basketball practice, and my dad pulls over on the side of the road. He's like, "Son, what do you know about boys and girls?" I'm just like,
It's a weird choice of time to do this, Dad. What the hell?
Well, and here's the thing. I thought I was in trouble. Because usually I'm like, okay, because I don't know. I'd been watching mob movies, and I'm just like, my dad's going to kill me and bury me out here in the middle of the woods. That's what's going to happen. But no, he just wanted to have the talk with me. And I told him, I'm like, oh, I learned about this a little bit, Dad. He's like, where'd you learn it from? Health class. They started teaching us, you know, girls getting pregnant and everything like that. And he's like, okay, son, so you understand that. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. And he's like, okay. And then he responded to everything else, and I'm like, oh, okay. And the talk went very, very easy. My favorite one...
I went to a Presbyterian church, so the most education I really got on it was don't F anyone or you'll get pregnant and die, you know, like type thing. Not really, but you know, obviously, like, save yourself from marriage. Otherwise, God hates you.
My favorite one I ever heard of was Dan from the Game Grumps and from Ninja Sex Party. He said that his dad, Avi, they were driving somewhere, and Avi turned the music down. It was Dan was like 13, 14, and he turns the music down. And he's like, Dan, what do you know about the sex? And Dan's just like, oh, yeah, Avi, I know about it. And Avi's like, okay. And he turns the music back up, and they never talk about it again.
He literally just wanted to make sure that he knew.
That's it. He's like, man, you know about sex? Yeah. Okay. I love that story so much. It's one of my favorites.
Does he have that accent? Like,
Avi? Yeah, Dan's dad. Yeah, they actually got him on a phone call.
oh, I thought you were saying it was Dan's son.
No, Dan's
Oh, okay.
dad. Sorry. Dan's dad had the conversation. Avi had this conversation with Dan about sex, and then Dan was just like, yeah, I know about it. And that's... Dan doesn't have a son. Dan is
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I
a
was
lifelong
confused.
bachelor, and he said...
I got you. But,
he has-
but Dan's dad has that accent.
Yeah, Dan's... Well, he's from Israel, so...
Okay.
It's like,
I guess that makes sense with that last name.
had any questions. It's like, it's fine. I'll just Google it.
I think I was like 14 and I was sitting on the computer just chilling, and Mum like came over and she's like, she had like a like a banana and a cucumber, and she's like,
Right? I can picture it.
we need to do this. And I was like, Mum, I've already learned it. I'm not doing this.
So she sat down on the couch, right? She's lit a couple of candles.
Okay,
This
No!
afternoon,
No!
Tuesday.
No!
It was midday. It was very...
I just love the fact that he's just like, no candles. It was midday. Shut up. You're not turning this into an... Oh, what internet historian? Why would you do that?
neutral. I was sitting at my computer, probably playing World of Warcraft.
Right.
No, you don't want to, but we need to do this. And I saw that banana or whatever it was and the condom, and I was like,
Oh my god, so she put the condom in her mouth and then
no,
what?
stop!
Shut up!
Didn't happen. It's just...
Evil bastard. Evil
Internet
bastard.
historian, chaotic evil. He's a chaotic evil. He has to be. And here's my dude trying to be a chaotic neutral, just like trying to tell the normal story, and then and then all of a sudden, and here comes the internet historian. He's like, but incest fantasy. It's like, shut up.
Just saying, maybe I wish I had learnt it again, because that could have been helpful down the line.
Why? What happened? You put condoms on bananas.
Well, I was putting them on my balls a lot. Turns out it's like completely the wrong place.
I like the idea that you get home from the grocer and you've got this bowl.
What?
Just the idea of somebody putting a condom around their balls.
That sounds like it
That has
would
to be,
hurt.
it has to be
Hurt me,
so
dude.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just like it's like you get down to the bottom of the shed, and then
I guess
just,
unless your entire setup is kind of small, but like,
you're just okay. All right.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not implying anything, dude. Like, but that sounds incredibly uncomfortable to me.
Okay. All right. Moving on. on. Moving on.
All full of bananas in the kitchen. You go, all right, well, I got to keep them fresh.
And then just condom.
As my mum taught me to do.
These banana wrappers are great. I like the flavoured ones. It imparts a nice chocolate flavour to the banana.
It makes them real slippery, though. Add heaps to it. My name's Nordman. Welcome to a day in my life. Gotta wake up early, 2 a.m. Nord's got servers in every time
real
zone,
early.
so you gotta be on the clock if you want to compete. Cold brew for breakfast. Air shower. Rub my teeth with some Himalayan salt. I'm ready to begin the day. Before I head to the gym, I shop around on my phone. Using Nord, I get savings on region-specific pricing. That's a tip. Stay rich. While I'm at the gym, I do sponsor reads. How about Nord? One take. Threat protection. Take your security to the next level. Blocks malware, trackers, and ads. Whee! Don't just invest in the product, invest in the company. Don't mind that, it's just my Nord FT. Nord can also do this. That's one thing they won't teach you in business school. Stay wealthy. But the most important thing, knowledge. Read at least one book per day. Of course, it all makes sense. 3 p.m. Time to shoot my podcast. Alright, peasants, here's how to be an alpha. Sorry, no monies. Looks like the podcast is region locked. To view it, you're gonna have NordVPN. Or, God forbid, live in Mexico. 6 p.m. Time for business. What's up, Jeff? How's the wife? Just heard about Amazon. Think it could be something big. You give me some stock and I'll give you a 2-year plan with a free bonus month. Well, he must have got disconnected. Now for a good night's rest. And we do it all over tomorrow. Go to NordVPN.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm sorry. When their commercials are more funny than other people's entire videos, you are doing something amazing. Internet historian, you are the man. Oh my god.
.com/incognito to get a huge deal on a 2-year plan, plus a free bonus month, plus also that threat protection thing.
I just also like it's impressive to me that he's even doing the ads this all in and this well on his second channel. Like
How is Babby formed?
Search how is Babby formed.
Fertilization, this is ridiculous.
How come this channel can show cum?
But you get demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Susan. Isn't it crazy that every one of us did this?
Okay, so it goes into the end of what looks like a grape.
No. Nah.
Crazy that every one of us did this.
Okay, so
It looks like it looks like a balloon nut.
I was gonna say it looks like a giant butthole.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. That's the chocolate starfish without the chocolate. And now my day is ruined.
So it goes into the end of what looks like a grape.
The grape surgery.
This is it all grown up now. Do you feel old yet?
Shut up.
On their journey toward the egg. However, resident cells from the woman's immune system, mistaking the sperm for foreign invaders, destroy thousands more.
Jesus.
Yeah, then they put on a stupid wig.
Next, half the sperm head for the empty fallopian tube, while the other half swim toward the tube containing the unfertilized egg. Some sperm get trapped in the cilia and die.
It's just a saw trap.
At long last, the sperm reach the egg.
So we get to the egg. Alright, at least this is going to be simple, right?
Isn't that how I imagine the egg?
No, I thought it was like a big one sort of thing with just a skin on the outside, like a lychee.
Yeah, exactly. This is like a subaquatic plant.
They're called creep vines.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh god.
With a layer of cells called the corona radiata.
Oh, don't call it that.
Nah.
Of the egg, the zona pellucida.
Zona pellucida. It's like
Just making shit up now.
the Zona pellucida of 1999. It was the best damn concert I ever went to.
I'm getting like survivor's guilt from like the millions of sperm that died in really comical ways.
When we edit this, we'll have it with like a bunch of doing and
Can you put rage faces on all of them as well?
First.
It just feels like it's full of all these...
to my millions and millions of unfertilized live, my brothers and sisters who did not make the cut, I want y'all to know something. I was faster, bitch.
It's comical Looney Tunes.
Pathetic.
Traps, like even the part where half of them got the wrong tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see right here. It's just like, hey Frank, see you down the line. Yeah, I'll see you later. They would never meet again.
It's like egg this way, done in like rough paint on like a wooden sign.
which triggers their acrosomes to release digestive enzymes.
What the fuck?
The first sperm to make contact will fertilize the egg.
So what you're trying to say is that the pussy is kind of like the OG Squid Game. Because this stereotype.
I know they're trying to show like what, basically like as close as they can animation wise as to what people have seen under a microscope, but do they have to make it quite so like wriggly and squirmy? Like, is
Are you implying that human beings are not wriggly and squirmy?
I have ADD. Fuck you.
Well,
I can't help it, Nate. It's condition.
I know. I mean, I just decked my microphone. Whoops. But
Oh, well.
I've seen children be born, and I know how a lot of them are when they first come out of the womb.
The whole thing is gross. The whole process is gross. Just like you could educate
Hey.
without making it so.
Hey, Nick, did you know that every single human
True to
being on the
life.
planet develops excrement and shits it out?
Some people put it back in their mouths.
I know. And those people, I hope, never reproduce.
They're gonna, I'm sure.
What? All of a sudden I cut back to Rick and Morty. It's just like, wait, why are you talking to him? He eats his own poop. He eats his own shit.
House, there are a series of wacky trials.
Oh, for God's sakes, for real?
It's a daft haircut,
For real?
remember?
Yeah.
Just like this.
That was the dumbest part of Squid Game.
Joins BTS or whatever.
Compact male genetic material spreads out.
And it just goes, oh, I don't know. His pockets just start falling everywhere.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my
The female
God.
genetic
It looks
material,
very-
awakened by the fusion of this.
Like, what is it?
Like, it looks like something that you could just see out of context in a horror film and it would be terrifying. Like, it looks so. I mean, it literally is, but it looks so invasive. Like, and just
It's
alien and terrifying,
Hey,
you know?
hey, Nick, it's called life. Life, like, there are some out there who believe that human beings are a virus on planet Earth.
I'm sure, yeah.
And honestly, seeing this as a parasitic organism,
I mean, I'm willing to believe that the actual viruses and stuff that, like, try to attack us are, like, the Earth's immune system trying to cleanse us from...
you know, there was actually an
Killing it.
anime I watched a long time ago. It was called Van Dread. And
I've heard of that.
it's basically an anime where men and women developed societies all their own. Like, both of them used, like, advanced cloning, so the species, their separate species and genders could continue. And then eventually, like, men and women crossed paths again and were on a ship together and had to, like, work together to survive. And one of the females got pregnant because she did in vitro fertilization with cloning. And the doctor, who was a male, was, examining her because she was acting like she was sick. And he was just, and the announcement was, there seems to be some sort of parasitic organism feeding off of my patient.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just like, I'm pregnant, you dolt. Pregnant? Also, the fact that the doctor is voiced by Steve Bloom is one of the best things ever.
It's like the whole thing, like, I'm pregnant, you dolt. It's like, so I was right.
Well, he didn't know that. He didn't know about
Literally,
it.
like,
He was like, I heard that
children
women
growing
I heard that
inside of a
women can-
womb are technically a parasitic relationship.
It's like, I'd always heard that women could gestate children inside of their own bodies, but I've never seen it in person. And it's just
Is this
So
like
good.
two AA batteries? What is? I don't
no,
even
that's
know
the
what's
that's the
happening.
chromosomes.
This looks like an
that's the literal like X and Y chromosomes.
mask when you play the Song of Time and go back in time.
Oh yeah, they ripped that one off. Yeah, now we're going to use these massive strings to pull you together. What? Who designed this?
This is like a Final Fantasy move.
It
or
was
something. This is like a
God!
Plants from a rich eastern growing and maturing for the next 9 months.
Yeah, so if anyone asks you, how was Babby formed? It's as simple as that. One time, for some reason, I spent a week on a deer farm.
It's like a Simpsons bit.
Yeah, that's my childhood. It's like just different occupations every week. I must have been 9. It was run by this like elderly couple, and they had tons of deer. And the thing about deer is you have to have electric fences. Also, the fences have to be quite high because the deer leap. But also, the electric fences have to be...
They yump.
Oh yeah.
Also, like all of us in Southeast America live on a gigantic fucking deer farm.
Yes, we do, because you want to know the interesting
They're all
thing?
over the damn place.
You know how many deer I have counted in our backyard at one time? In one time of me seeing them. Do you know how many I saw?
I saw 16 one day.
16?
Yeah.
Where at? Here?
In the backyard, yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, there was...
You beat mine. My total was like 12.
Yeah, there was like 8 adults and like 8 little ones.
Any bucks among them?
Yeah, there was 2.
Damn.
Like one with like kind of shorter and one with some decent horns on it.
Nice.
I was just like, oh man, if I hunted, I'd be like fucking giddy right now. I'd
Well,
just be like, I'm going back.
That's the one thing about the bounty of
the
bounty of nature here in the American South is that it is much more prominent than you'd think. I mean, there's
it's actually a big problem because they're obstacles / like in my case, like the one time that I hit one, I didn't hit it; it hit me. Like they're
I've hit plenty of deer.
The thing fucking shoulder dropped my car.
Well,
like, and they kill people sometimes. Like,
oh,
if they come
do.
through your windshield.
Roll right through. I mean, honestly, it's an animal that weighs in excess of 200, 300 pounds, rolling through your windshield.
And parts of it are very fucking pointy.
Yes, and it can wind up literally stabbing you, or if the body hits you hard enough, you will die. You will die from blunt force trauma.
A hoof across the face wouldn't feel very good either.
Oh, no. Like, all of a sudden, you show up to the hospital like, what happened? Like, deer kicked me in the jaw.
No, you just have no jaw. You'd be like one of those eyes like...
Stronger than that for cattle because they kick.
Right.
So they will kick the electric fences. Their hooves don't conduct that well, and so you really want to have a strong voltage there. So it's not like a little zap, zap.
Yeah.
It's like fork in the outlet sort of deal.
Yes.
So we're feeding this deer, buckets and buckets full of apples. I'm there with my sister and my mum's like, grab the gate, and I go over to the gate, unlock it, and then I just suddenly wake up.
That was what was about to happen. Yeah.
I just didn't expect to just
such a good edit.
That's an internet historian.
It's like I grabbed the gate, and then the next thing I remember, I'm waking up on the ground with smoke coming out of my ears. Like, the ringing sound. It's like, yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, I fought that. You fought that guy last night. Really? What happened? It's like, you don't remember? No, I just remember waking up in your bed like 5 minutes ago. What happened? Ugh.
On the ground.
Ooh, that's fun.
Ooh, I just start crying. I just got shocked by this fucking thing, and then I just dropped like a rock. The whole time on the deer farm was pretty fraught with injury, to be honest, because like even when the guy was going around telling us about the deer, he's like, "Don't stand behind the deer because they will kick."
They will mule kick your ass.
He's standing behind a fucking deer, and it kicks him in the head, and he just goes down like a fucking sack of bricks. And we thought he was dead, and like he's fine, like he just gets back up. Like, holy shit!
Just say, who is this guy? Like Outback Tough Man? He's just like, so what you want to do is not stand behind. He probably did that as an example. He's like, what you don't want to do is stand behind a deer. Well, cow.
Sounds like something from a comedy film.
Happen.
Sounds like something from a comedy film. Like I can picture that happening to Jim Carrey. It's like, so never stand behind the deer because it will kick you in the head.
Pow.
See what I mean?
It's like, see what I mean there, mate? First off, this deer's I can't say that word, even though the Aussies and the Brits love to say it.
Standard Australian vocabulary.
Yes.
Not allowed to say it on YouTube.
Bobby gets up in the
It's discriminatory against
exact
Australians,
same place
YouTube.
and he just keeps like getting up again.
Wordy dirds.
Do you remember when you learnt why certain words were bad because you accidentally said them or did them in front of your parents?
Yes. When we were very young, the strongest swear word we knew, and if you said it, you would be in enormous trouble. Pain in the ass.
Yeah, right.
That's it?
Yes.
Ass and damn and crap, like back when those used to be hot shit.
Wanker was like, so I didn't know what it meant. I'm like 10, maybe 11, something like that. I knew the word, so I was just going around like, such and such is wanker.
Yeah.
Such and such is wanker. And then eventually my mum turns to me and she goes, do you know what that word means? And I was like, no. Like really reluctantly saying, fine, no. And then she's like, it's someone who touches themselves.
Yo!
And then I was so embarrassed. I like never said it again.
If that happened, I would just be like, and that means I am a wanker.
That ruined everything.
I remember I was in the mall with my dad and I was just kind of like saying words to myself because you're a kid, I guess.
Say the words to myself because I'm a kid.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, go on.
I was going through all the words in my head I could come up that ended with anchor,
Oh no.
tanker, banker, and then I just started going through all the other letters just to see if they sounded fun to say, and I said wanker out loud really bad, and I just remember my dad immediately snapped. He just turns, he says, never say that word again, and I was like, oh, and then I just said it on YouTube that 1 million people are going to see. So
Sorry, Dad.
I had kind of a similar situation one time because I was just like trying to come up with something that rhymed with itching because I was itching very bad, like after I got out of the shower, you know? And and like for some reason like bitching came into my head even though I'd never heard anybody actually say it before. And like I said it out loud like as a little kid and my dad was just like, don't say that.
I remember the one time I heard I
was like, okay. He didn't even explain why. Like, you know, he was just like, don't say that.
I remembered when I was younger, I was like I think 8 or 9, and I was saying I was like I heard bad words. I knew they were bad words. My parents told me do not say bad words. And I deliberately went into another room where there was no one else, and I just started rattling off every bad word that I knew. And I'm just like, I just went in the other room, and I was just like, and I just rattled all of them off. And
said the one you can't say on YouTube.
I'm probably gonna edit out that whole censor that whole segment because excessive swearing is one thing on YouTube they do not abide by.
I would have never done that because I had like this weird kind of thing in my head that all the way up until I was in college that I just had this weird like fear. Even though I was like at school, like somewhere that my mom definitely would have been at, I was like the second that I just haul off and say fuck or something out loud, I'm gonna turn around and my mom will just be standing over my shoulder and like my life will end.
All of a sudden,
she will just remove me from this universe.
All of a sudden, you just hear like dun 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 dun.
And so like anytime like I said like a cuss word, like all the way through high school to my friends, I was like, damn, like you know.
Oh gosh. There was the one that.
Then at a point I just stopped caring, and then at a point I stopped even caring. I still try not to cuss in front of my mom because she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while I'll let one slip, and I'll just be like, sorry.
Well, I say some swear words in front of my parents still. My mom usually doesn't care. She does not want you to say the one big no-no to her. C word. You're not allowed to say that one.
I know. I straight up yelled and called my sister that in front of my mom and my dad.
I learned a lesson. Don't say it in front of my mom because again,
my mom and my dad.
I called my sister one too.
Well, surprisingly,
and
I mean,
my mom
like
literally hauled off and slapped me.
It was like a couple of years ago that I did it, so I mean, like I was still fucking 30 already. Like, you know, and surprisingly, my mom and my dad didn't say anything to me about that. It was like, I was surprised. I think they agreed with me.
And
she was acting like one.
Well, and the other thing was, my mom also, like, she told me, you know, other words I don't say. I don't swear that much around my dad. Like, I'll say, like, shit or ass or hell every now and again. But my dad's big no-no is GD. You don't say that around him.
Yeah.
You say that around him, he'll be like, you gotta swear like that in my house?
That would be a definite no-no around my parents as well. Even my sister wouldn't say that, I don't believe.
Yeah.
I may have heard her say it like once or twice, but she's like, you know, still trying not to say that, you know. So them all being a Christian family, they really don't like that one.
A freshman at university. Bright-eyed, can't wait to attend my whatever the fuck lecture. I go to this class and I meet these two girls. And one of them I really fancied and the other one I did not fancy all that much.
How come?
Anyway, we got along really well, the three of us, and we're sort of hanging out for a sort of couple hours after class, and then I thought, oh, you know, we'll trade numbers. Mm-hmm. So I got this girl's number.
Nice.
That was the girl A. Now, I wasn't interested in girl A very much. I was interested in girl B.
The girl B model.
We go off our own ways. And, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, I want to text this girl B. So I send girl A this message. Hey, have you got girl B's number? And, you know, trying to be really sly about it, but it's probably as fucking obvious as it can be.
Out of the way I go.
And she says something like, yeah, sure, hold on, I'm in class. And I also had class. So what I then proceeded to do, put my phone in my bag. But this is back in the day when phones had to be locked. This is buttons.
Yeah, analog. Anything and it can just push down a button.
Exactly. When you used to be able to text and drive really easily.
Bring that back.
I know, right?
Texting, driving, drinking.
So, now, this particular phone had a very interesting quirk, which was that if you pressed the right button, it opens the menu. But if you press right again, it goes SMS. And then if you press right again, it goes new message. And if you press right again, it will go, oh, you must have finished with your message.
Yeah.
It goes to contacts. So these names are in alphabetical order, right? And her name just happens to be first on that list. And then if you press right again, it will send. So I put my phone in my bag, and I don't know it, but the right-hand button is being pressed for the next hour and a half. And it's
no.
No!
Oh, she was pissed, I bet.
Oh, probably wasted this was back before there was free texting and free calling on phones usually.
Yeah, probably so.
He probably used up all of his text messages and all of her text messages. She had to have been so livid with him, dude. Damn.
I'm gonna go ahead and place my bet of 50 cents on he did not get girl B's number because of this.
I would say that, yeah. And I would say she's also probably going to get in trouble in class because her phone's like going boop, 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 boop for an hour and a half. I mean, that sucks so bad, dude.
That's like the kind of thing that like keeps you awake at night all the time because of how embarrassing it is.
Yeah, you're just like, you're sitting there, you're in bliss, you're having fun, you're having like getting ready to go to sleep. All of a sudden your mind just goes, hey, remember that time you sent that girl over 175 text messages?
Blank messages to this girl. You just met this guy at university. He's a bit of an unknown quantity. He's asked your friend for her number. And when he didn't get it, he has just sent you about 2,000 blank text messages. 2,000!
Oh my god! Oh my god. I would immediately just be like, I am so sorry. The button on my phone was held down and it does that. I am so sorry. How can I make it up to you? Hey, like you want to go out for dinner? You want to go watch a movie? I am so sorry.
Okay, so at least they were blank.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it would send the last thing you sent. So it wasn't like he was sending it over and over again asking for that girl's number, because that would have been even worse.
That would be the worst.
That would have made him just seem like an absolute psychopath.
Agreed.
Especially if she like got fed up and was like, all right, fine, here, and sent it back, and then he still was sending it because it was his phone, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
What the hell is going on with this guy? Oh.
With impatience. She must have had to turn off her phone, or it's just going off like ding, 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 ding. I was like, oh, I'll look at my phone again. And I'm like, oh my god, it's got 1,000 of 2,000 messages still to send.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you can't cancel it. Like, the whole phone is just going into paralysis with how many messages it has to send. And so eventually I'm just like, oh, I'm pulling the battery off the back. Then I'm in this dilemma, because it's like, you've now sent this girl 1,000 messages. Do you call her and say sorry? Do you send her another text message?
No, you call her and you say, like, here's the thing. There's levels to this thing, dude.
She's probably not going to answer, though, because she's like, what the fuck is this dude's problem?
I would call her and she would just be like, what is going on? I'd be like, look, I am so sorry. The button got held down on the side of my phone. Yeah, that's the thing. But I would call just so I could say,
I would call and leave a single voicemail.
Well, if she didn't pick up, I'd leave a voicemail.
Yeah, leave one voicemail. Like, dude, I'm so sorry. My phone got a button held down, and I sent you way too many texts. I swear I did not do that on purpose. I'm so sorry.
All of a sudden, you're just like, all of a sudden, you're just like, what the hell was that about? Like, I am so sorry. Look, I accidentally held down the right button on my phone, which sends messages over and over again. I am so sorry. Look, look, how do I make this up to you? I'm so sorry. And yeah, I would have been like, I will pay your like messaging bill because, you know, it's my fault. I'm so sorry.
Me in college, I wouldn't have had the money to pay anyone else's messaging bill.
God. Do you send her another text message and say, sorry about that. I have this inexplicable problem.
She'd be like, what the fuck does that mean?
And so what I decided to do was nothing. I just never said anything about it and decided, I sure hope I don't run into her again. And then about 2 days later, I get a message. The message has Girl B's number.
Oh,
like, I still felt like I couldn't explain.
Please don't kill me. Well, yeah, I lost the bet. He got the number, I guess.
You can keep your 50 cents.
I guess, like, after not doing anything for a couple of days, that paid off, too, because she was probably just like...
It was probably an accident.
She was like, it must have been some kind of weird glitch, and I guess he just didn't realize it happened. Like, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
So I never did. And then I went on this like awkward, not quite date thing with Girl B. For some reason, she agreed to meet up. Maybe I just forgot or something, but I never explained it to her either.
She went on a date with you because she was afraid of the same thing happening to her.
Yeah,
oh my god!
I've got to do this to save my friends. I'll never forget this. You do the same for me.
Oh god.
I'm trying to get some life insurance at the moment because, well, I'm going to perish soon, probably.
Yeah.
They actually have a person come to your house now. You don't have to go to the doctors and do X, Y, Z. They'll just have a lady come to your house with a little suitcase.
Oh god, no.
So she wheels it in. She comes into my office and she just starts taking blood. Like, I'm sitting in my chair and I got a fucking needle in my arm and she's draining all the blood from my body. And
I mean, you did consent to it, to be fair. You kind of made it sound like she just rocked up and sticked you.
But one thing I didn't know that I was signing for is they do a urine test as well.
Yeah.
Stole your piss.
She hands me these 2 cups, fill one halfway and fill the other one full. And
I kind of want that shirt, actually.
Yeah, she hands me
A day without gaming wouldn't kill me.
I know he's probably putting it on himself just to be sort of like lame, I guess, but like
no, I'd wear that.
It's legitimately a shirt I would wear.
Same. But oh god.
Coffee mug, and she goes, you know, if there's any spare. I piss into these 2 cups, and I thought it would go everywhere because I'm not very used to it.
I got a shotgun cock.
Yeah, very powerful stream. I had to hold it about 15 feet away. Anyway, so I do that. But then the worst part is, right, I thought, oh, she's going to put it in these like plastic bags and send it away to the labs. Nope, that's just what she's doing with the blood. She gets out this like fish water testing kit, and then she starts dipping it in the cup while I'm...
The alkaline... Wait, the alkaline tester? For real? What is she testing your blood for? Your piss for? Bleach? Jesus.
I mean, like, I don't know if it works in anything. I have no idea.
And look,
I know for a fact that the litter that I have for my cat, and I'm not saying cats and humans are necessarily the same. I'm just assuming, but like it tests for alkalinity in your cat's pee, like, and it turns the color if they have high alkalinity, which can indicate a urinary tract infection.
yeah.
So I
Fair
don't know.
enough.
But
Fair. It's better that she did something with it, because imagine if you just brought it out and she was like, ugh.
Yeah, but it was so healthy, she said. It was just such
So tasty.
yeah, such vital piss that she didn't even bother sending the other cup to the lab. No, that's good. No
She just put it in her
proteins,
pocket and walked
no-
out.
Yeah, right. Just dabbed a bit on her neck and went, that'll keep those foxes away. Fuck, sorry. I know I keep doing this. Hold on one sec. Historian's at the store at the moment. I have to reply to it.
Get me more piss. That woman today stole all of mine. Can I get you the piss in the bags? It's cheaper.
Hey guys, editor here. They didn't bother recording an ending. So instead, here's a small taste of what it's like to edit for IH. Please end my suffering.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
My baby don't mess around.
Note to the editor.
Editor, extend his neck 50 times.
I have to go to the bathroom so badly.
Hey, editor. Wait, how do we get onto
Editor, leave that in.
Editor, cut that out. Sorry, none of these are fucking scary.
Leave all of those in.
Leave the last 3 hours of footage in.
No.
Wow, wow. They have the
These are
Trash
fucking
Taste
scary.
anime
Leave all of those in.
podcast
Leave
on
the
there,
li-
dude. That's awesome. Fucking Gigux on there. Garnt. He's one of my favorite anime.
it's funny to me that it sounds like they're trolling the shit out of the editor the entire time
They
they're
are.
doing these.
Well, they probably are.
Last 3 hours of footage in.
Note to the editor.
Hey, Barry, make sure to cut out right when I start saying bitch.
By the way, editor, sorry, I have accidentally hit stop record on so it's out of sync.
Yeah. Every time I accidentally... The amount of times I've accidentally hit the stop record button on this thing when we're in the middle of an awesome reaction, and then I look over and I'm like, please tell me I finished recording that video. And my mind just erased like the last 10 seconds where I hit the stop button.
Or you'll be recording and you'll look over and you'll realize there's no audio coming up on the microphone.
Yeah. Or as it would be if we had no audio. Yeah.
Just make the graphics scary.
Yeah,
it'll do. You'll figure it out.
So I don't know if this is going to work, but...
Have you ever encountered a spooky spook? Have you ever been stalked? Have you been walking down the streets of...
dear editor.
Delete everything. Delete the last 10 minutes.
Hey, don't tell people that.
I'm so sorry. Please keep that in.
We can't do that, but this would be torture for the editor. He'd be so mad. Just a small town girl, living in a life.
Cuts nails during recording. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't admit to this. I mean, whenever I'm recording certain things online with Rick, actually, I'm joking about this. I was going to say, I often record without pants on. I just sit there in my underwear. I'm just joking. I don't actually do that. I'm actually, like, full on, like, bottomless. I'm just hanging dong right there at the desk. And Rick is none the wiser. Thanks for the Try Not to Laugh challenge, by
That's
the way,
why it
Rick.
always takes you so long to come to the door when I knock on your door.
No, that's because I'm trying to yank the
Hang on a minute!
No, it's because I'm trying to yank the dildo out of my ass.
Whatever you're into, I guess.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, that was Internet Historian, Childhood. That was a good one. That was fucking awesome. I really want to see more, just more
Mixed
Internet
50-50
Historian.
with our stories. Pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
That's how we do here.
Oh, well, actually, no, we're over, because we're over an hour, and this video is only 21 minutes long. So we basically tripled the amount of video. You're welcome, Internet. Well, you're welcome, or you'll hate us. We'll probably hear about it.
Absolutely no
We'll
doubt.
probably hear about it in the comment section, and the like to dislike ratio is probably going to show it too. But I could honestly care less.
Absolutely nobody. The Renegades. We're going to talk for like way too long during this.
Yeah.
Everybody, no one asked for this.
It's like, don't care. You're getting it. Anyway, that's going to do it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later. Peace.